Hi friends, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Tammy and I hope you'll stay a while longer and hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. As you can see by the title, winning against the negative. And in this crazy world that we live in, I wanted to share a story about how I did that. So if you see me looking down, it's because I took notes, because I tend to jump around and get off topic, and so I wanted to stay on topic. I want to give you a little bit of a backstory about myself. I'm the oldest of three girls. One has her master's in elementary education and is a school teacher, a third grade teacher. I should know this, right? A third grade teacher. The youngest, she was an attorney for 6 years while her husband finished med school and when he began his career as a surgeon, she chose to stay at home with her three little ones. So she's now a stay-at-home mom. I lived in a small, sweet town up until 5 years ago. It's about 2 hours north of where I live now. I graduated at 17 years old. Back then, I think I started kindergarten when I was 4. I know you have to be 5 or 6 now, but I was 4. Graduated at 17. Either wanted to be a hairstylist or a dental hygienist. I know that's like two random things, but that's me. I'm random. As you can see, if you look at all my videos, I'm random. So I chose to be a hairstylist. Within 1 year, at 18, I started my career as a hairstylist. I loved my career. I worked my butt off because, as anybody knows, hairstylists, you have to build a clientele. Worked hard to build that clientele and gain their trust, and you know, when you go to a hairstylist, it's about trusting them, it's about loving their personality, if they listen to you, and blah blah blah. In the last 5 years, I had the opportunity to become and take over a salon and become a salon owner. Well, I decided to do this with a friend of mine, my business partner, and she was also a hairstylist, and we decided to go for it, and we became salon owners together. We had the opportunity to get a hold of a 2,200 square foot building. We worked our butt off. We had friends, family, you name it, come in, and we renovated this entire space, and it was beautiful. We were really proud of it. Excuse me, not as easy as we thought it was. We had the business part of running the salon, the bills, the keeping the employees happy, taking care of our huge clientele and making sure that they're happy. You've got situations like, I'll give you a couple examples. The toilet overflowed, went down into the middle of the salon. You know, you've got to stop what you're doing, even though you're dedicating your time to your client. As a salon owner, you got to take care of it. Another example, air condition breaks in the middle of a 90-degree hot summer heat day, and you've got dryers and all that, and you've got unhappy stylists, you've got unhappy clients, they're paying for this service, so you've got things like that. There's the employees, okay? We had an awesome team that we enjoyed each other. Beautiful employees. I mean, it's really sad to say, but beautiful employees that they let drugs take over. They've got marital problems, they've got personal problems, and they bring it all in, and it affects your business. But as a salon owner, you have to see and try and take care of it. You either get rid of them or you try and help them. Not easy, especially when somebody like me, I have a big heart, I want to help people, but you know, sometimes you just can't help people until they hit rock bottom. And unfortunately, some of those stylists did, and we had to get rid of them. As hard as it was, we had to get rid of them. Last year I was working. I worked myself to the bone. I was working myself thin. I dedicated everything I had to my business, and sometimes my family suffered because of that. I became very sick. I continued to work and try to push through because I'm a determined person, and I ended up in the emergency room with pneumonia. When that happened to me, I started thinking, I just started thinking, I can't do this. I cannot continue to do this, right? So enough about me at this point. I'm gonna go to my husband. My husband had owned his own company for about 10 years. He did custom wrought iron railings and gates and fences. He had an awesome company. He was thriving. He did very well. Then the housing market began to crash. So as hard as it was to swallow his pride, we sold the business, and he decided to take a job at a local bridge company. He did AutoCAD drawings of the bridges. I mean, I don't know about all this stuff. He'd get on that computer, with all the numbers, and he'd draw out in detail these bridges, and he did a lot of the drawings. He would consult with other bridge companies through corporate calls, through emails, and all this sort of stuff. He would get to know these customers or these companies that he would deal with and work with over the phone and over emails. One of them particularly, you could tell liked Eddie, even though they'd never met in person. He said, you know what, why don't you come down and see our facility, and let's meet face to face. So he went down. It was 2 hours from where we live, 2 hours south. He went down and he met with the guy and got to see the company and how they run things and things like that. So on his way home, he had called me and he said, that he would be home in a couple hours. And he said, I said, well, how'd it go? Would you talk about how'd it go? He said, it went good. We'll talk about it when I get home tonight. Okay, no big deal. So the night came, and we were laying in bed watching some TV, and he said, they made me an offer to come and to work with them. And when he told me the offer, I said, okay, when do we move? Let's go. At that point in my life, I was burned out. We'd always wanted to move, but never took the opportunity or never just went for it. We always let the negative come in. You can't do that. How are you gonna make it? This was the opportunity. We never asked for this opportunity. We never even seen it coming. It just came. And that's where, as a Christian, I knew it was God working in our life. And let me tell you guys, when you choose to make a change in your life, or you feel that a change in your life is the right decision, or you choose to take a leap of faith in your life, or you choose just something out of the ordinary, out of the box, you get in your mind, in your gut, that gut feeling that I'm tired of this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make this happen, nobody's gonna stop me. Well, don't think that closest to you are going to support you. You're gonna go against everything you could possibly imagine. Told our coworkers, and I'll never forget one of the employees I work with. She looked at me and she said, I would never give up my career for a man. Okay, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I don't know if you've heard of Joel Osteen. He's a motivational speaker, a Christian motivational speaker and a pastor at a church. I love listening to him. I love a lot of his motivational speeches, and one thing that he said that I use today that it sticks in my mind is that the negative plants a seed in your mind, okay, but it's up to you to let that seed, to let the roots take off. It's up to you to let that negative take control of your life. Here we've got our 10-year-old daughter. That was probably the hardest, is because, all of her family, her grandparents, my in-laws, my parents lived a mile from us. She was very close to them. As you know, my mom was my best friend. You know, my sister, the elementary school teacher, she had just built a home 3 houses down from us. You know, you've got all this you have to consider, you know, and the guilt seeks in. But it was something that I knew and my husband knew, both of us knew it was an opportunity not only for us, you know, for him, but for us as a whole. Having children, I'm not trying to jump off topic, but having children did not come easy to my husband and I. Our daughter, our 15-year-old daughter, is our miracle child. But a year prior to all this, we had just taken in on my husband's side of the family, David, who was 13 at the time. He was 13. He lived in an awful situation. My husband and I love children. We probably would have had a ton of them if we could have. And we knew we could give him a better life. The thing is that here, he's only been with us a year. He, you know, was trying to make new friends, getting used to us and our family, getting used to a whole new life, and now we're moving him again. Okay, so we had that against us. My husband had to start work in 2 weeks. The kids had a month left of school. We had our home of 15 years that we had to sell. We had to find a place quickly to, you know, rent. We knew nothing about this area. And on top of that, did I mention my baby sister had just moved there because her husband's career as a surgeon took him to that location. I mean, what are the odds of that? So let's fast forward to now. My husband's degree, his college degree, is in aviation. He never used his degree, and today everybody in his office has an engineering degree from college. Every person in his office but him. He is a self-taught engineer. My husband now, his title in his job, he is a civil and structural engineer. So that's another thing. Don't let somebody tell you you can't do something. You can do anything you set your mind to. Kids, I can tell you the opportunities that we've had in these last 5 years for our children have been amazing. And now you got me. I'm going to be honest. I would often dream of a simpler life. You know, you get in a crazy rut in this crazy world, and you know, you sit there and you're like, oh, there's got to be something, you know, there's got to be something easier. When you get to that point, I was at that point. I'd often dream of staying home with my children and being a homemaker, or even just trying something out. If I told somebody, which I never did, I never told anybody my dreams. God knew my dreams, but I never told anybody my dreams. Because I thought if I told somebody this is the negative in my mind that I was going to hear. You know, you tell your clients, you know, because you talk to them, you create personal relationships with them. First thing they're going to say is, well, who's going to do my hair? Well, what am I going to do? Tell your family, well, how are you going to do that? So I never said anything. You know, I would just dream of it. And as a Christian, a strong Christian, he has a path and a plan for every one of us. Just put it all in his hands. He's going to take you down this awesome path. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be the way you think it's going to be. You're going to go through, you know, things that you don't like. But I believe that sometimes those things forces us to move to the next step on that right path that he's made for us. Do I regret giving up my career of 20 plus years? Absolutely not. You want to know why? Because I wouldn't be sitting here enjoying my simple life with my family, and I wouldn't be talking to you right now either. So my thing is, guys, don't let the negative win. Believe in yourself. Never give up on your dream. Until next time, guys, bye.